Microsoft just explained how they broke Flight Simulator last week. Also, there's a new improvements plan for the Xbox edition, along with plenty of details on where the sim is heading next. Let's start then with the break-in of Flight Simulator last week, which occurred due to Sim Update 13. Many people found that when they began downloading the update, and I've seen many of these comments under my previous videos, they found it would never actually complete that update, that they were stuck in an unending loop. Unfortunately, some people believed their sim installation had been corrupted, simply because they couldn't make the update, and if they tried to reinstall, that wouldn't work either. Now, the problem was fixed relatively quickly by Microsoft. They issued a server-side fix on the 29th of September, along with deploying a number of additional fixes over the following 24 hours. This, it turns out, fixed the issue, although still left some people with damaged installs. Fortunately though, there's a relatively simple fix for this, which requires people to delete a few temporary files. Instructions for that are linked in the video description below. So yes, the game is fixed, but what went wrong? What caused all of this trouble? Well, it turns out that this is connected to an update released a number of weeks ago, sometime after the release of Aircraft and Avionics Update 2. This issue caused problems with the update servers. However, none of this became apparent until the large traffic spike that came with people downloading Sim Update 13 last week. The result was that the update server started to fail, causing downloads and installs to loop, run slow, or even completely stop. Now, Microsoft have said that they want to do their best to avoid all of this happening again in the future, and they're working on prevention of these types of incidents. It does seem that it affected quite a lot of people. Like I've said in the early part of the video, I did notice a lot of comments under the previous video where people were pointing out they were having these troubles. Also, unfortunately, I had the same problem myself, although I've now fixed that. Now, a very quick interjection here. For those people who are long-time viewers of this channel will know that I absolutely never do this, but things with the YouTube algorithm have been changing in recent months, and they've certainly been causing their fair share of problems. So it's really kind of getting to the point where I kind of need to ask. So if you really don't mind and you're finding this video useful, please do like and subscribe. It'll be massively appreciated and really does help this video. Now, sticking with the subject of fixes, elsewhere, Microsoft and Asobo are working on stability improvements for the Xbox edition of Microsoft Flight Simulator. They said that this update is specifically focused on reducing crashes on the console platform. This update doesn't currently have a release date just yet, however it is available as an open beta test for those simmers who would like to help out with the testing. Now, if this is something that you would like to do and you play the sim on Xbox, then below you can find instructions on how to download and install the test build of the sim. Moving on to the latest wishlist and bug list, we can get some insights on the next plans for the sim. Now, we've previously discussed the updates that are hopefully going to go into Flight Simulator 2024, and you can find that video linked below. Right now though, for this video, I want to focus on some of the improvements and changes that are planned for the current iteration of the sim, and there's quite a few of them. We'll start then with the things that are in active development as of the 28th of September. Now, I'm not going to go through every single thing on this list. Instead, what we'll do is pick out the things likely to be of most interest. The first thing then that grabs my attention is the Scenery Gateway system. Now, they've talked about this for a very long time. It's also incidentally known as the World Hub, and it seems the World Hub is probably going to be its official name. On screen right here, you can see some footage from the SDK developer Q&A from November 2022. Now, the idea of this system is that it will allow simmers to modify airports. Basically, you'll be able to check any airport within the sim, download that airport, and then modify it. So the idea here is that, there's so many airports within the sim that are just not accurate to a real world, and that simmers will be able to go in and make them far more accurate, bring them up to date. You'll then be able to submit these changes to Microsoft, they'll go under review, and if approved, they will be distributed to everyone via a future patch. Now, to me, this seems like an absolutely fantastic idea. There's obviously thousands of airports in the world, and no way that Microsoft or Asobo can update all of them accurately themselves, so this really puts it in the hands of the community. The thing is, this is taking a very long time to get out there. It was originally meant to be released a long time ago, and then I believe was meant to be released, I think, with the World Update 14, and then was pushed back to Sim Update 13, but we still haven't quite got it. That said, Microsoft have now confirmed that the work on this has been completed, and it's now with the team over on Microsoft just to go through the final checks to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, all that sort of stuff. So hopefully we should be seeing this much sooner rather than later. Another thing I wanted to point out here was the atmospheric lighting improvements from the development list. Now this says that it's ongoing investigations and will be released with the Sim Updates 14 and onwards. In fact, this has been ongoing work for quite a while, and Sim Update 13 had some of this put into it. As we can see right here, that means that strange line that's visible on the horizon has partially been fixed now in Sim Update 13, although Microsoft have said that unfortunately this won't be fully fixable for Flight Sim 2020. Of course, all of these improvements that go into Flight Sim 2020 for atmospheric and lighting conditions shouldn't be confused with the complete rewrite for the atmospheric lighting that's going into Flight Sim 2024. From what I can tell, these are two different things. Now, one other thing I want to just briefly touch on here is the replay functionality. Now, this is the function that's in the sim at the moment over on PC and allows simmers to play back their flights. Unfortunately, it's not available on consoles. Now, this was added into the sim a while ago as an experimental feature and was supposedly going to be something that would improve over time. But we can now see that on the wish list here, it's marked as done on the PC. The recent developer Q&A suggested that it's unlikely any more development is going to be done on this. At least that was my interpretation, and please let me know in the comment section if you think I've got that wrong, but that was my take. And they also very clearly stated that replay functionality will not be coming to the Xbox edition of the sim. Ultimately, I feel both of these are unfortunate. I'd like to see more development being done on this because right now the interface is rather clunky, and I prefer to use external tools instead. And of course, Xbox users don't have access to external tools at all, which means there's no way for them to have any type of replay functionality, something that I'm sure many simmers over on the Xbox would certainly like to see. At any rate, that pretty much covers everything for this particular video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.